Potato chips are one of America's highest-selling snack foods, and it's easy to see why. Whether you're throwing a party, watching the game, or just grazing in between meals, there's no better snack than a potato chip. But it's a long road from the ground to the bag, and I decided to go see exactly where my favorite snack food comes from. You say potato. I say potato. No matter how you say it, this is what 2 million look like. And here at Dennis Ramseyer's farm near Wooster, Ohio, potatoes are just a way of life.
My great-great-grandfather moved to this area back in the late 1800s. And then it was my grandfather that started raising potatoes back in the 30s. And at that point, potatoes were raised for eating potatoes or table stock.
The potato chip originated as a variation of French fries. A restaurant in Saratoga, New York began serving them as a specialty in the late 1800s. Today, Americans consume more potato chips than any other country in the world. This created a great opportunity for potato farmers.
With the rise of the potato chip back in the mid-40s, from what I can remember, it opened new doors for new markets, which were not there before. My father became involved in the operation back in the early 50s. At that point, we were raising all chip stock. I became involved in the operation back in the late 70s, and until now, we are still raising potatoes mainly for chips.
The Ramseyers know that in order to have a good potato chip, you need a great potato, and that all depends on the harvest season.
Ideal conditions for potatoes is a sandier soil that you can irrigate. And we don't have water here to irrigate with, and our soil is a silt loam. It's a good, rich soil, but it's a little bit on the heavy side for potatoes. But if we have the right weather conditions, we can produce some of the finest quality potatoes.
In addition to growing and selling potatoes, the Ramseyers also involve themselves in the community. The farm is known for their 8-acre corn maze and pumpkin patch. Schools can bring field trips to the farm to play outside and experience the harvest.
They'll come into the barn here and they'll learn all about crops and how things grow on the farm, and we even give them a sample of potatoes, which we fry into chips, and they get to eat those. And from there, then they go on the hayride, and then they go into the field, which is just behind here, and they pick their own potato.
Getting children involved gives them access to a side of agriculture they may have never seen.
We see a lot, especially with kids that come from the city, and they don't realize that potatoes grow. So for them, it's just to show them that things come from the agricultural world, and it takes hard work for them to get it on their plate.
Once the potatoes are sorted and loaded into trucks, they are off to various processing plants, like Shearers Foods in Brewster, Ohio.
The snack food business has been in our family for 31 years. I've always liked potato chips, and I think people enjoy buying snacks, they enjoy eating them, and we just thought that, gee, this would be a great way to bring a great comfort food to people, and we felt that if we started our own manufacturing, we could have our own style of chip, and we could make it different than what anybody else was doing out in the market. Once the potatoes are harvested, they come to our plant via semi-tractor trailer. We receive about 12 to 14 loads of potatoes a day at our plant in Brewster. Once the potatoes are unloaded, the processing starts. They go through a peeling system that removes all the skins, and then they are sliced after the peeling process, and then they go into the oil. And once they're through the process of frying, then the packaging takes place.
With so many new varieties and flavors of chips in the industry, the competition can be tough. Coming up with new ideas can be tricky, and not all of them are shelf-worthy.
We've looked at some pretty wild things in the past that actually never came to market. What I called a dessert potato chip at one point, where we were looking at very sweet type of chips, licorice flavored and peppermint and cinnamon and things of that nature. And so, I mean, we've looked at some pretty bizarre things. Those obviously never got very far off the table.
You might not see a licorice flavor on the shelves anytime soon, but you will find a Shearers classic, the kettle chip.
I believe our kettle chips is really what distinguishes Shearers from virtually any other company out there. We excel in the way that we do our kettle chips. I believe it's our flagship product. That's my opinion, at least.
The Shearers have been in the snack food industry for over 30 years, evolving from a local hand-cooked chip manufacturer and expanding into a 77-acre distribution plant. Through it all, Shearers has always been known for their quality products, and they continue to strive for that perfect potato chip.
We're very quality conscious. We have a lot of passion for what we do. We instill that passion within all 525 of our associates. And the key to making quality potato chips is quality potatoes. And we buy a lot of our potatoes from Ohio. And being from Ohio, we're proud of that.